Tommy, you sat down here and you've talked about this a lot. The importance of tuning. You'll spend 10 minutes before a gig tuning a guitar.
Oh, yeah, sometimes more.
Sometimes
it depends,
more.
But
how do you do it?
Well, first of all, I just use a little digital tuner like that.
Yeah.
Right? Well, off stage. On stage, I have a pedal that mutes because you don't want to be tuning loudly on stage. That's very unprofessional, you know.
We're professional here, right?
And so basically I'm going to, because I do all my own guitar stuff on the road, setting my action and changing strings and tuning and all that, I know how to string my guitar up and stretch it in. So 5 minutes later I can go straight on stage and play and not have many tuning issues. It takes a while for you to learn all that stuff, you know. But I found the strings I like, that my guitar likes, you know. This is the thing about strings. People always asking me, what strings are the best? And I said, well, try a few brands and see which one your guitar likes, you know. I want my guitar to really tune up. I want it to have nice overtones and good balance and stay in tune and feel great. So, you know, the strings I found that do that are Martin strings, Martin SPs, Martin FX, and Diodario or some Ernie Ball Paradigms are great strings. There's lots of great strings out there, and some of the for my baritone. I like some of the Diodario. I also like the Elixir baritone strings.
Don't you feel, I've heard you say in interviews that sometimes a guitar will get used to a certain type of string.
Boy, you've been doing your research.
I've done my research here, Tommy. So then what do you do? So you'll play Martins on a guitar for 5 years and then switch it up? Or what is it?
No, I'll play 3 or 4 days with a set of Martins on there, and then I'll put something else on for a couple of days, you know, Ernie Ball Paradigm or something like that, and then I'll switch back to the Martins again. So the guitar never gets totally used to the same string, and I discovered that a long time ago. I was only using one brand of string, that was Diodario. And my guitar tech in those days used to have the habit of, he would bring my guitar half an hour before the show, bring it into my dressing room, put it on the stand, and then my band would come in and we would start singing and running the vocals, and I'd start playing and getting my motor running. And I remember this day he brought my guitar in and I played one chord and I said, "Did you change the strings?" Like that, and he said, "Yeah, and they don't sound very good, do they?" And I said, "Have you got any Martins?" He said, "Yeah." I said, gave it to him, put him on. 5 minutes, he was right back. Bang! That guitar was back to life.
Yeah, right.
And it wasn't the fact that Diodario were bad, because they're not. They're great strings. My guitar just got used to the same string all the time, and I figured that out. It's just science. You know, like John Larrabee said to me, building a great guitar is a no-brainer. It's just science.
It's just science.
It's just science.
Okay, so how do you tune the guitar? So you start with an electric tuner to get a bass line, right?
I plug in, turn the mic off, and turn the mids up full. And you don't hit the string hard.
Why do you turn the mids up?
So I can get a signal that's like that, not like that. You know what I mean? It's a pokey signal. It's all high mid-range, right? So, but today I'm not plugged in. I'm just on the mic here. So, you know. So basically, my needle is coming up to the green, and there's a little bit of red there. So, which means it's not exactly like perfect, but it's close, right? So I can there it is, not moving. It's on green. So this is about as hard as I play when I'm tuning. And the best thing you can do when you've got it in as close to perfect on every string, right? and you go from the low to the high, back to the low, back to the high, until everything starts to get kind of balanced, right?
That's what you do on the electric tuner, or that's what you do now after you?
No, that's what I do on the electric tuner,
Okay.
right? Now, then with the guitar, no guitar is perfect. So you basically now you got the thing in tune digitally, right? Now you have to test the tuning with chords that are really going to test your tuning. And I found some of the best chords to test chords like this, like a G chord. Right, it sounds really in tune, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But with the third in the bass. Now let's try it in A. Now a D minor.
Are these your go-to chords that you play every time you're doing this exercise? Or
Yeah,
you're tuning?
and sometimes I'll go and let it all ring.
And what are you listening for? Because sometimes I'll hear I'm not perfectly in tune, and sometimes I struggle to really pinpoint what is not in tune and what to do about it.
Yeah.
So what are you listening for?
I'm listening that everything sits there all balanced.
What does balance mean? Like, is it the ringing between each note?
Yeah. It's. See that?
What does that sound to you?
A little bit flat.
The E's a little flat.
And there it is.
And there it is.
Yeah.
How did you figure this out? How did you develop this?
Just wanting to be so in tune, you know, like when I record an album, a studio album, I have the luxury of being able to spend, so much time before I do a take with new strings and spending time getting my guitar as in tune as I possibly can, you know, and that's a beautiful feeling. And so I look for that live, even though, there's an element of anticipation and excitement, all to do with the fact that I'm in front of all these people and I'm playing right now in this moment, and so I'm an entertainer, so I'm like really going at it, right? But at the same time, that little part of me that says, make sure you're in tune, make sure you're in time, all that stuff, it rises up, you know? And so my new album that came out earlier this year, which is live at the Sydney Opera House, that's a real live recording. And I don't hear too many tuning issues. So to me, that was almost a miracle because, man, I was going at it that night. I mean, I was just pouring everything I could into it without pushing too hard, without speeding up, without, you know what I mean? Just being really in the zone with the audience, but knowing this is a live recording. And I know that in a week's time, when I've had a couple of days off and I'm all relaxed, I'm going to listen to it and I'm going to be really critical of it.
So that's why it's important for you to be in tune, because you're going to listen back and you're going to go, oh, that's not in tune.
There's no greater feeling than being in tune.
In tune.
You know?
It sounds simple, but I don't go through that process when I'm tuning my guitar. Maybe it's because if I'm playing in bands, it's maybe less important. Maybe, I don't know.
You watch anybody who's had a lot of experience, but here's the kind of juxtaposition. A guy like B.B. King, he could break a string, tune the guitar, and be right back into it, and you would never know that anything happened, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And you never see him tuning between songs because he doesn't have to. You know, he sings and then he plays a little, and what he plays is beautiful, perfect. Thank you very much. You go and see a guy like Larry Carlton or Robin Ford or Luke, any of those guys, they'll finish a song and the first thing they'll do is check their tuning. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I do. I check my tuning, but I'm not playing chords up the neck and fine tuning it the way you are.
Well, maybe you don't need to do that.
Maybe I do though. I don't know, Tommy. Maybe I'm missing out.
Well, actually, Zach, the point of what we're saying here is that I do what works for me.
Yeah.
You have to find what works for you. And I want to be in tune. And I'm working mostly as a solo player, so everything has to be right. Not just my tuning, but my sound, the feel, the chord choices, the song choices.
Right.
Everything. There's nowhere to hide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I'm playing in a band, I can step up and do my bit and then get back in the band, and I can hide back there with the keyboard player, and you know what I mean. When it's just you, everything is exposed. It's like being naked on stage,
Yeah.
And I kind of I love that challenge, and I love being out there as a solo player as much as I love duetting with other people that I really have a great musical chemistry with, or that I have a lot of fun playing with. And when somebody plays a good rhythm and keeps a good time, it sets me free as a kind of lead player. I know that I can fly my kite, and whatever I do, this guy's going to be rock solid.
Right.
Pretty hard to find people like that.
Yeah.